Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about what is meant by data structure and the types of data structure. Let's first understand what is meant by data structure. So data structure is a way of collecting and organizing data in such a way that we can perform different operations on these data in an effective way. So this is the actual definition of data structure. It is a way of collecting and organizing data in such a way that we can perform operations on these data in an effective way. Okay, so data structure, it is a way of collecting and organizing data. Means first we can collect the data and then organize the data in such a way that we can perform different operations on this data in an effective way. So there are multiple operations we can perform on these data. For example, traversing, searching, sorting, merging, etc. We can discuss these operations in later lectures. Now let's understand this with example. For example, we have a student name, for example Neha, and roll number 21. Okay, so Neha is a name of student and 21 is a roll number. For example, okay, so here Neha is of string data type and 21 is of integer data type. Now we can organize these data as a record like student record. For example, we can organize this record as a student record. Okay. Now we can collect and store student records in a file or a database as a data structure. For example, we can store another data, for example, name of student as Pradnya and roll number as 30, then name of student as Ashwin and roll number of this student is 25. So again, name of students are of string data type and roll number are of integer data type. So a data structure is a group of data elements that are grouped together under one name, and these data elements known as a member. So these all are the student records, and here all the string type we can name as a name of student and all the integer types we name as a roll number. So we can group the data elements under one name. So this is called as a data structure. Now let's see the main and important part of this lecture, and that is the types of data structure. Okay, data structure is categorized into two types. The first one is a built-in data structure, or we can say that primitive data structure. And the second one is a user defined data structure, or we can also call it as a non-primitive data structure. Okay, so here data structure is mainly categorized into two types. The first one is a built-in, also called as a primitive data structure, and the second one is a user defined, also called as a non-primitive data structure. So let's first understand what is meant by built-in data structure and what is user-defined data structure. So built-in data structure means these are the basic data structures that directly operates on the machine instruction. As the name suggests, it is a built-in data structure, means these data structures directly operates upon the machine instruction. Operates upon machine instruction, and that's why these are called as a built-in data structures. Or we can say that these data types or these data structures for which a language has built-in support. Okay, we can also call it as a language has built-in support. Okay, there are four built-in data structures. The first one is integer, which store the integer value. Then the second one is a float, which store the floating point value. Then third one is a character. It represents a sequence of character data. And the fourth one is a pointer. So pointer is a variable that holds the memory address of another variable. So these are the built-in data structures, or we can call it as a primitive data structures. Now let's move on to the second type of data structure, and these are user-defined or non-primitive data structures. Okay, so let's first understand what is meant by user-defined or non-primitive data structure. So these data structures are derived from primitive data structures. These data structures are derived from primitive or built-in data structure. Okay, so these are basically based on the built-in data structures, and these data structures cannot be manipulated or operated directly by the machine level instructions. As we can see in the built-in data structure, built-in data structures are operated upon machine instruction, but these data structures cannot be manipulated or operated directly by machine level instruction. Okay, so this is the basic about the user defined or non-primitive data structure. Now let's see the types of user defined or non-primitive data structure. User defined or non-primitive data structure is basically categorized into three types. The first one is an array, second one is a list, and third one is a file. List is again categorized into two types. The first one is a linear list and second one is a non-linear list. We have to understand what is meant by linear list and what is non-linear list. So linear list means the data can be stored in a sequential order. Data can be stored in a sequential order. And here in a non-linear data structure, data can be stored or organized in a random order. Or we can also call the data is not stored in a sequential order, that is in random order, that is a non-linear data structure. So linear list means the data can be stored or organized in a sequential manner, that is called as a linear list. And non-linear list means the data cannot be stored in a sequential manner, it is stored in a random order, that is called as a non-linear list. Now linear list is divided into two categories again. The first one is a stack and the second one is a queue. Or the other examples of linear list are array and linked list. These are also the examples of linear list: array, linked list, stack and queue. And if we consider the non-linear data structure, then the basic non-linear data structures are tree and graph. And if we consider other examples, then dictionaries and heaps are also the non-linear type of data structure. So this is the basic fundamental of data structure. Let's revise once again. So first of all, what is meant by data structure? The way of collecting and organizing data in such a way that we can perform different operations on these data. Now data structure is mainly divided into two categories: built-in or primitive data structure, user-defined, and non-primitive data structure. So built-in data structure means they completely operates upon machine instruction. Then user-defined data structures are derived from the built-in data structures and they cannot be manipulated or operated directly by the machine level instructions. So built-in data structures divided into four types: integer, float, character and pointer. And here user-defined data structure categorized into mainly three types: array, list and files. The list is again divided into two categories: linear list and non-linear list. Linear list means if the data is stored in a sequential order, then we can call it as a linear. And if the data is not stored in a sequential order or the data is stored in a random order, then we can call it as a non-linear list. The example of linear list are array, linked list, stack and queue. And the example of non-linear list are tree, graph, dictionaries and heaps.